Happy Lugnasad! Today is August 1st and it marks the beginning of harvest season. It is in the wheel of the year a time to celebrate all of your hard work and to take a reprieve and allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I am on the day after tail end of one of the best nights of my life, honestly. Our Entropy Healing first year anniversary. The amount of, I'm still emotional, the amount of support and loving friends that were familiar, but also new faces that came and that are meant to be a part of this community that we're growing. And it was just the most beautiful time. All the women here who were doing their readings were busy all night long. We had human design with Shelby Eifert of The Beautiful Being. We had Neva Welton doing astrology readings on the porch. Kim DeSaulnier at Luminous Vibrations was doing mini sound healings. Heidi Nickerson was doing tarot readings. And we had Una Jewelry Company doing permanent jewelry here. And everybody was so busy, and we didn't get to do the raffle because so many people were in their sessions. So I'm going to be posting that later to let you know who won a lot of our prizes last night. I still have your names. So with that, in my speech, I talked a thank you to everybody, but also everybody who I thanked to me was a tarot card. And I thanked myself with the Six of Wands. And that is our energy this season as we are celebrating our harvest. You know, we are in Leo season. Leo is the sun. It is leads with their heart. There is a bravery and a courage and a celebration of shining your light that attracts other people. And so you uplift each other by being coming from your heart. And this card, I don't know what else would represent that so meaningfully than the Six of Wands. You can see that she's standing on this stage. She's got her arms open. And for the longest time, I've been pulling this upside down. And I knew that I wasn't honoring myself, but I wasn't quite sure how to do that. And I think this reading is for those of you who maybe have perfectionism, maybe believing that you're not enough, if you have insecurity, self-esteem issues. If you feel like you work and you have trouble enjoying because you're moving on to the next thing, you know, it is natural. The Six of Wands comes after the Five of Wands. And five is a card of struggle and obstacles and conflicts. And you can see it in this. So many people, especially this time of year with fire, it can feel like a lot of energy, and we feel like we're pushing and we're doing and we're activated, and it can be hard to calm down our nervous systems. And you can see in our adrenaline, and with these characters, they're all reaching for the same thing, but they're kind of standing on top of each other, and they're very independent. There's an independence here, especially in the people that I come across in my community. I see an independence that is part of your determination because you want it so bad, what it is that you're going for. But if they were to work together, it wouldn't have to be so hard. So coming from that, you know, we have our Six of Wands as our reading for today, and that is our card of expansion. And when we expand from that five, from the difficulties, we expand into a more easeful flow, because there is this, to me, what this anniversary was I knew that this would be this emotional release, that I would finally allow myself to bask and to enjoy, and knowing that along the way, you know, I hadn't been doing that as much, celebrating the little steps, our little achievements. And so to me, it was an anchor in time. And that's what ritual is. Ritual, you know, is like the element of fire, where you take one form, you know, and it transforms, and when you light the wood, right, it becomes fire, and then it becomes smoke, and then that goes back to the earth, and there's this cycle of fire, and you know, you're birthing and transforming, and there's a death cycle there. And so when we do a ritual, we are bringing a mindfulness to an intention and putting it into action. Fire is very action, and it's, you know, our solar plexus. It is our sense of ourself, how we we lead with our action, with what we're determined to do, and our willpower and our perseverance. And it's based in a quality of trust in ourselves, that are going to do what we say we're going to do, or if we think that we're living in our own integrity to ourselves. We're honoring the contracts that we commit to ourselves that are important. And so when we do a ritual, we can mark something in time that for us can be, a milestone, a road marker. And a lot of us wait for these huge moments. We wait for, once I get to that vacation, once I get to the end of the school year, once I do this, and we wait, and there can be this procrastination that comes up. If you have procrastination, this is all part of this energy center. And rather than doing that, Six of Wands says, stop and celebrate yourself, and you don't have to make these big grand goals. You don't have to have these huge to-do lists. You don't have to accomplish all these huge things to be proud of yourself, that there are little things. And as we one of my lessons in this was yesterday also was a Kazemi with Mercury in and Mercury is in retrograde. So if you're not sure, a Kazemi means that a planet and the sun are in the exact alignment in the sky. They're in the same degree. And when that planet goes directly in the middle of the sun, it is amplified, and the energy, it's almost like an explosion. Like in my head, what I'm imagining is almost like a bomb being dropped. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like you can't quite see fully, there's you almost have to close your eyes because it's so bright. There's so much. And so this, with Mercury in retrograde, this has to do with our, communication, and maybe our connection with our intuition, communication that way, and our expression, right? And so with this, I noticed yesterday there were a lot of things. Mercury in retrograde has this reputation too of, don't sign contracts, don't travel, be careful, don't do anything that's of really significance, wait till it's out of retrograde. And my electronics yesterday, my phone would not send texts. I couldn't do emails. It was, doing these weird things. My calendar wasn't working. And then in our home, even our TVs, our technology, we're doing these weird things. So I'm going to share a list of a few things that seem to go wrong. Okay. So they're not going in our favor. And these are part of my lessons of learning to celebrate myself, is because of these things. So that was, kind of how the day started. And the night before, I have all these flyers of this wall. I have a wall up from last night of all of the events that I've done all year. I put up all the flyers, and I'll do a little show of that too, because it's pretty awesome. And so I had all these flyers that I had taken the time to go back and send to the printer. I have a debut of my new greeting cards, which I'll also share with you, that have been in the works since I started writing children's books years ago. And new flyers for new events coming up. And I have been working so hard the past, even in my vacations that I've had, not being able to even live in the moment because I'm thinking about all these things that I have to do. And so working so hard where I've kind of sacrificed my own health a little bit. And this is something, I help others with, but sometimes when we help others with things, it's because we also need to do it for ourselves. So I'm just being really honest here, because sometimes the healer archetype also, what this teaches too is you don't have to wait until you think that you are in some identity of what it should look like or should be like. People, you may have this image or an idea of what it should look like, and reality, people who are helping others they're able to do it because they go through the shit. So just want to share that. And so I had all these flyers, and I had to pick them up at 8 o'clock because I had a late Reiki appointment. And by the time I got there, they had left them out, but they were not there. And long story short, I was driving out of the parking lot, and suddenly there was this bag, and I kind of drove over it. And I get out, and it is an empty bag with my invoice, and says Entropy Healing, but there's no flyers in it. It's just this empty bag. So clearly they had left it out, but somebody had stolen them. somebody, something, some energy, something, because when I emailed them that night, they said nobody has ever had that experience. Nobody has ever had their flyer stolen before. And for that to happen and for me to drive over, that was not a coincidence. This was an alignment with the universe to be trying to teach me a lesson here. And so the next day, because the blue sky printing was so amazing that they were able to print them again quickly for me in the morning. So I picked them up quickly. I was kind of late to open the store. I went to go pick up my balloons and my cake. Cake was beautiful, but the balloons were not blown up yet. And so at this point I'm kind of laughing about things, thinking, okay. And I get out of the car and my white beautiful dress has all this yellow stain from the beautiful lilies from our garden. So there's all these little things, and I know that they're not coincidences. These are little lessons to say, can you stand in your light? Can you enjoy and celebrate even though things are not seeming to go your way? And now I'm going to share some of the things that did go my way, that I recognized that, in this moment, that is what was happening. And so I used my temperance. If you go back to my #TarotSongs YouTube video, I talk about temperance and how we meld our emotions, water with fire, with our solar plexus. So go and check that one out. So I am doing that, and I'm throughout the day, the things that I am choosing to embrace and to amplify and to make this one of the most memorable days and multiple days of my life is I was able to watch the first edit of our very first podcast with Robert Salem of Your Heart's Drum, and that set my tone for my day. Just the joy of seeing that for the first time, of this dream that's really coming true. And I can't wait to share it with you. And last night when he showed up, I'm wearing this beautiful necklace that he has gifted me of a beautiful bear. So you can see this was a gift in itself, because that's not something that that's not a normal, it was such a special gift. There are no words, you can tell. Okay, so, and he also showed up with the bear drum that I've talked about and gifted that to me. And there was not a dry eye in this party, because it was just so touching. That is not something you can put a monetary value on, and you can't find them, and just the connection of bear and the gift, I can't even do it justice talking about it. So that beauty of that, and a lot of us may be kind of focusing like on this control about something, how we think something should be going. And if I had kind of been stuck in all of those other things that had been happening, I would not fully be able to embrace and enjoy that moment. And and I was able to let all of the people come here. They almost kind of like pull your head out of your butt, so to speak. It's like, pay attention. Look at all this wonderful things happening. And there were so many other wonderful things that I just wanted to share this about how we can celebrate. And someone's in my store, so I'm going to have to go here soon. But how we can celebrate ourselves and to honor. And in this ritual, I was able this morning in the shower thinking about this water and fire. It was almost like I was baptizing myself, a reclamation of what does it mean to be reborn, and to allow some of that programming of me thinking I have to push, I have to do all this, and to letting that wash away. So I'm going to go now. Happy Lugnasad.